And now on TV, it's the United States Marines and KTLA presenting Marines at Ease. Welcome to At Ease, the third program of the United States Marines in cooperation with KTLA, Paramount Television. Musicians Mutual Protection Association, Local 47, John DeGrome, President, and the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. Good evening, everyone. I'm Technical Sergeant Bill Taylor, your host on At Ease. Well, I hope you're wearing your sea legs tonight because we floated an LVT up Highway 101 to Hollywood and KTLA to give you a close-up look at one of the Marine land-water vehicles that brings the Marines ashore in combat. The Camp Pendleton Post Band is playing Barnum and Bailey Favorites as the feature march of the week, and Corporal Bill Cole and the combo are standing by with a few numbers I know you're going to enjoy. And now here's Commissioned Warrant Officer Fred Locke and the Camp Pendleton Post Band playing Saber and Spur. Thank you, Mr. Locke and the band. And now, come with us on a musical trip up the mysterious Nile. The exploring party is waiting, so take a comfortable camel, one hump or two, and come with us as the combo takes us away with Caravan. Thank you, Staff Sergeant Dave Idemiller and the combo for taking us on that musical trip to the other side of the world. Well, time now to introduce our Marine Hero of the Week. He's Sergeant Robert A. Bauer, who was awarded the Silver Star Medal for bravery in Korea. Evening, Bob. Welcome, Mr. Eddie. Tell me, Sergeant Bauer, what outfit were you with in Korea?
Charlie Company, 1st Tank Battalion.
And, with Charlie Company, what were your duties with Charlie Company?
I was a tank commander.
I see. Well, Bob, let's take a look at your story on film now, shall we?
This is Sergeant Robert A. Bauer, tank commander in Charlie Company, 1st Tank Battalion, 1st Marine Division in Korea. May 1952. For almost 2 years now, Korea had been the battleground for the 1st Division. From the Busan perimeter to the landing at Incheon, the capture of Seoul, Wonsan, the heroic breakout from the Chosin Reservoir, the Punch Bowl, Heartbreak. These and other bitter battles, the Marines had fought with United Nations forces against the communist aggressors. Wherever the fighting was the fiercest, the Marine Division could be found holding a vital sector of the line. On May 10th, the division, recently moved from the East Coast to the West Coast, was in the lines a few miles east of Panmunjom. The tanks of the 1st Tank Battalion were moving up onto the line and it was just before noon when Sergeant Bauer's tank came rumbling up to a ridgeline assigned to Charlie Company. This was a quiet sector for the time being. Bauer jumped to the ground. Crew followed him. Supplies were unloaded and the men set up shelter in a nearby bunker. The sergeant relaxed that afternoon. The crew was by the tank, checking it over. The enemy came to light. So did Sergeant Bauer. He raced to the tank, saw his wounded men. The men were badly hurt. Bauer picked up one man, started through the barrage. Asked that his buddy be treated and turned back toward the tank. Explosions chased him. He came to the side of another man. Began dragging him to safety. The barrage continued. Bauer came to the command post again. Litters were waiting there. He laid the unconscious man on one and moved to take one end. The litter party started back. At a small landing strip just behind the front lines, the wounded men were loaded aboard helicopters to be flown quickly to evacuation hospitals farther back. Sergeant Bauer watched the copters wing away. He knew his men would be all right now.
I see you're wearing the Purple Heart. Were you wounded too in that action, Sergeant Bauer?
Yes, in the shoulder.
After did you go back then to your outfit?
Well, I went to the battalion aid station, and later that night I returned to the tank.
And continued fighting, too, huh? Well, Sergeant Bauer, it's been a real pleasure telling your story tonight and having you with us on At Ease.
Thank you very much.
It's circus time on Marines at Ease tonight, and here's our feature march of the week, Barnum and Bailey Favorite. Thank you, Mr. Locke and the band. For our special feature tonight, we'd like to tell you about one of the many types of landing craft we Marines use in performing our basic mission. That is, taking the fight to the enemy, establishing a beachhead on his ground before he can have a chance to move against us.
On August 7th, 1942, the first LVT received its baptism of fire when United States Marines landed on Guadalcanal. This first model, known as the LVT-1, was later used on Attu, Rendova, Bougainville, Araway, and Cape Cluster. Then at Tarawa and Macon in November of 1943, a longer, faster, and more powerful model, known as the LVT-2, transported assault troops ashore. Further improvements produced the craft used in the invasion of Okinawa. This LVT-3 was officially adapted by the Marine Corps as a standard landing vehicle, and since then has seen action in Korea.
Those were men from the 52nd Special Infantry Training Company, Reserve Company that is, at Seal Beach, California. And now let's talk to some of the LVT men and find out a little bit more about their equipment here. Sergeant, you want to introduce yourselves, please?
Master Sergeant Roy Mock. Technical Sergeant James Tate. Master Sergeant William Snelling.
Well, Sergeant Mock, your face looks a little familiar, and probably to our viewers, too. As most of you will recall, Sergeant Mock was our hero last week when he told the story of how he won the Silver Star for bravery in Korea. Well, tell me, can we go inside and take a more close look at your vehicle here, fellas? Incidentally, before we start that, I'd like to know just what outfit you're with down there at Camp Pendleton.
Track Vehicle Crewman, CBT Battalion, Major A.J. Noonan, Commander.
Okay, thank you, Roy. Now let's go inside here. And another thing I think I could bring out at this time, that the actual designation, I believe, of this vehicle, LVT, means Landing Vehicle Track, right? Let's see if we can get our cord in here now. Well, here we are inside the LVT. So let's, I've been a passenger on these vehicles before, fellas, but I've never been up this far, always just as a trooper. So you want to tell me a little bit about the driver's position here. I believe Sergeant Tate, you're acting as the driver today, aren't you?
That's right, Bill. Well, this is the driver's seat. The vehicle is steered by brake. Merely by pulling this brake, we slow the starboard track down and speed the port brake up, and that causes it to turn to the right.
Oh, I see. I was noticing there didn't seem to be any steering wheel, so it's apparently all then controlled by those two brakes. Tell me one other thing, if you would, and that is, I noticed that thing right here underneath the machine gun. What is that? It looks like a handle on a kiddie car.
That's a hand bilge pump, Bill.
A hand bilge pump.
We don't use that unless you're in trouble.
Oh, I see. In case you get a little too much water, you're going through a heavy surf, or ship a little too much water, where you can use that bilge pump. Well, how about that machine gun there? How do you aim that? You can't use your sight very well there, can you?
By tracers and observing the tracers through this vision block.
Oh, that vision block up there, is that bulletproof?
Yes, indeed. It will really stop bullets.
Really stops the bullets, and you know that from experience.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Now, let's go over here, and I noticed some... one thing I would like to talk a little bit more about, and that is your braking there. You say you steer the vehicle by braking each track. You said starboard and port, of course, right and left is what you meant by that. And you stop one track, and consequently the vehicle slews around there and turn. I see. Well, let's come over here. Sergeant Mock, do you want to tell us what these...
This is your ramp. That's on the rear where you see these men come out, and this is for winding the ramp up.
I see. You've got a regular crank here to wind it up again, so that's all manually controlled in that respect. So what is this window we have over here? Is that also bulletproof?
That is also bulletproof, Bill, and this is what you call an escape hatch. In case the vehicle would ever you get in trouble in the water in a curve or something like that.
I see. Well, let's take a look down this way now. And Sergeant Spellings, what's this switch you pull up here?
That's the quick release for the fixed fire extinguisher, Bill.
Oh, I see. When you pull this in, why, it automatically sprays the inside, does it?
Right. It sprays the inside of the engine compartment.
Of the engine compartment, I see. Well, let's wander down to that engine compartment and see just what we have in the way of power here. Let's see. That's a very good-sized engine. What type is that?
Well, this is a Cadillac. Twin Cadillac engines. One engine in each pontoon. One for the right and left.
Well, then, do I understand that if this engine over on this side, the starboard side, operates the starboard track, does it?
No. It comes to power chain into the control differential and can be powered by either engine in case one is knocked out.
Oh, I see. Do you use both of them together at times?
All the time, except it's a case where one engine pumps out or dies out.
I see. Well, let's go around to the outside. Now, incidentally, one question I forgot to ask you, and that is about your... I noticed there didn't seem to be any gear shift up there. So how do you shift gears, Sergeant Spelling?
Well, this is hydromatic transmission, and there's very little gear shifting other than in the control differential.
I see. Well, let's walk around here. Let's stop at these tracks here. And now these tracks propel you both on land and on the sea. Is that correct? I see. Well, Sergeant Spelling's a vehicle, and it certainly is an awful lot of weight and everything. Where does the water come from? Oh, off here. I see. That's all of our thanks for being with us this afternoon. And now, fellows, Marines in Korea, I think every Marine has probably received a letter or a package of cookies from his wife or his girlfriend, and he's pretty cheered up by them. But along with that cheer goes a certain longing and, well, a lot of future plans. So let's go back to the studio where we transplanted Corporal Bill Cole into a Korean setting. Bill's going to sing Till I Waltz Again With You.
Till I waltz again with you, let no other hold your charm. Good autumn, you'll be waiting for my arms till I kiss you once again. Keep my love locked in your heart, darling, I'll return. We will never have to part, though it may break your heart and mine. The minute when it's time to go, remember, dear, each word divine that made me love you till I waltz again with you. Just the way we are tonight, I will keep my promise, for you are my guiding light. Though it may break your heart and mine, the minute when it's time to go, remember, dear, each word divine that made me love you so, till I waltz again with you. Just the way we are tonight, I will keep my promise,
guiding light. For you are my guiding light. Thank you, Corporal Bill Cole. Well, it's time now for another march from our Camp Pendleton band under the direction of Station Warrant Officer Fred Locke. You all remember the most popular hero, probably, or hearing of our most popular hero of World War I, General John J. Pershing. This next march is dedicated to him, Blackjack. This brings us to the end of another Monday night with your Marines at ease. And we hope you've enjoyed being with us as much as we've enjoyed playing for you. At Ease is brought to you by KTLA and your United States Marine Corps. I hope you'll be looking in again next Monday night at this very same time. I'll see you then. Good night. All persons appearing on this program are on active duty with the United States Marine Corps. If you're between the age of 17 and 26, find out if you can become a United States Marine. Visit your local recruiting office or the reserve unit in your area.